Why are they engaged in all this? What is their objective here? It's the Somalification of America. In other words, when you see the state of Somalia, that's what they want for America at the end of the day, because it's easier to rule over an empire of ashes than it is for the Democratic Party to rule over a functioning, Western, high-trust society with a strong middle class. Look how powerful the Democrat Party became in Minnesota once they flooded it with 100,000 Somalians. Once the elections were decided, right, by clan rivalries and ethnic feuds. Once that happened, the Democrat Party became permanently powerful in Minnesota. They became permanently powerful in the Twin Cities. That's their model for America, to make the whole country into a version of Somalia. And everything they do gets down to that. So when you ask me what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving, I praise God every day that Donald Trump is our president. And we've gone from 30% inflation, 20 million illegals, unlimited refugees.
We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a 3rd grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Now, this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the mountain. Good evening in the central. Good evening on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Reparationist perspective, bringing you those Negro Freedmen hot topics and making the case for reparations, making the case for delineation, making the case for deportations, and making the case for weaponizing our vote and socializing our suffering. How y'all doing, family? I see you, New Year's Queen. Somalia against Pan-Africanism. I think that's a 4865. And I see you, Brewski Bruce Smith. I think that's 1754. Lord knows I need my Walmart readers. I just don't feel like putting them on yet. Thank you all for joining the live. Somalia against Pan-Africanism is already turning up. Talking about Trump may need a third term. Well, I wouldn't be mad at that. When you look at who's coming up behind him, it is a hot, buttery cracker mess, okay? You've got Skamala looking to throw her hat in the ring on the Demonrat side. You've got gruesome Newscomb on the Demonrat side who wants a shot at the title. And on the Republican side, you've got J.D. Vance, married to the East Indian Brahmin caste Usha. And you know these immigrants are hating on the Negro. We all we got is us, y'all. It's just us. What's up, baby? I see you, Sheena 209. I have immigrant fatigue. Woo, child, you said a word right there. I too have immigrant fatigue. I've got Demonrat fatigue. I am just worn out from all the chicanery. Before I go into today's topic, I do want to give a correction. Now, yesterday I started off strong with the number of Negroes that are Black Americans. You know, it's flat black out here. I came in strong with 2 million. I was in the ballpark. But somewhere along the line, I started talking about 200,000 Negroes left in the state, and that was not accurate. I think I was just losing steam and my marbles was going left, right, and everywhere, every which direction. But when I looked up the numbers, we have been reduced to 2 million in the state. Let me look at the actual data. I did pull it. I put the correction in my description box. But I do want to memorialize it here because Pinky was trying to get me together on the numbers and I was just all over the place. I don't know if it was because I was thinking more of LA numbers, but I was referring to the state. So I do want to make that correction real quick for you and then do a little bit of housekeeping. And we got to jump into today's topic. It's going to be another long one. So buckle up, buttercups. Okay, correction. There are 2,076,395 Black Americans in California. Of that number, I think the melanated immigrants are 104,000 naturalized citizens, 22,000 illegal undocumented. Now, as of 2023, there were approximately 15,760,437 Latinos in California, which represents about 40.45% of the state's total population. So they are now almost half of the population since the Demonrats have legislated us out of the state and have given away our reparations, taxes, and Social Security to bring in our replacements. They've got 2.3 million undocumented. So I did want to share that with you all because I was really messing those numbers up yesterday, and I wanted to memorialize the accuracy here, the correction here. Yeah, wow, our numbers dropped even more. Yes. I thought our numbers were at around 6 million. I can't recall the last time we were at 6 million. A lot of things changed when it came to the pandemic that drove us out of the state, unfortunately. Yeah, baby, too much taco sauce over here. It's a lot going on. It's sad, but what I'm trying to prevent is from the nation becoming who we are. And we're out of time. That's why I had to come back. I had patrons that were continuing to bless the channel. And I had to come back because I am sounding the alarm so that the rest of the country doesn't become California. Because the sad reality is this is all we got. And we've got to fight for the only country we've ever known. There is no country in the world that's going to do with our repair what this country has done with our repair here. They're not doing that for us in these other countries. And so, as I've mentioned on previous broadcasts, our vote is our last commodity. And we must weaponize it because I'm seeing this happen in New York. I'm seeing this happen. It's encroaching on the South now. Like I've shared with you about North Carolina, Tennessee, it's happening there, Georgia. And the problem with our people is they don't believe the fat meat is greasy until they see it frying. They're not looking at what's happened to us here in the state of California and taking notes. Far too many of our people are either voting the couch or they're voting for Demonrats, to our ethnic cleansing by economic genocide. And so what you're going to see in this series while I'm on vacation, I will be here every day that I can. The times may change because, of course, New Year's Eve is upon us and I'm going out to have a grand time. And then New Year's Day, I should be able to come back around 8 p.m. on New Year's Day. So I'm trying to come to you every day. And another note for today is that I was trying to do both Minnesota fraud Somalis and Ohio fraud Somalis. But then I wanted to add what's happening to Vivek Smarmy Swarmy. I wanted to add him. So I really needed to isolate Ohio. So right now, we're going to just focus on the fraud in Minnesota. I've got so much to share with you. So we better jump right in because I do want to get to your comments. Please keep it lit over there, co-host. And I will be back to read your comments. I'm going to really try my best to get you guys in and out in 2 hours. I can't promise. I've got a lot to show you. So let's get it started, okay? Let me share my screen. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. So let's just get into it. We're going to get into it. So there was a rumor mill out here that stated that Barack Obama was responsible during his tenure for bringing in 200,000, that he brought in 200,000. This particular Reuters article says there's a fact check here that Obama did not resettle. They're saying 70,000 Somalis in Minnesota. So, you know, they love to do these fact check things. But the fact of the matter is, during Obama's tenure, when the Negroes delivered him the White House for 2 consecutive terms, he was busy becoming the LGBTQIA XYZ president. He was busy opening up the Office of New Americas. He was busy getting rid of the Negro identifier along with Grace Ming, a representative out of New York, I believe it was, so that they could obfuscate the set-asides that Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. had actually successfully procured for us. Now, allegedly, this is what happened. Based on some insider information I received, he had actually procured some semblance of reparations, but he was executed before he could actually deliver. And it's my understanding from an inside source that Obama, and Grace Ming were working to get rid of the Negro identifier so that they could repurpose those monies, allegedly, for the Office of New Americas. That's what I was told. I have to say allegedly because, you know, I don't want to give false information. I haven't fact checked that, but it sounds believable when you think about how little Obama did for the Negroes that delivered him that White House, not once but twice. So when they talk about Obama resettling Somalis, the bottom line, no matter the number that's in contention, Somalis were resettled in this country during his tenure. So let me read this to you here. It says some 54,000 Somali refugees resettled in the U.S., most of them outside of Minnesota during Barack Obama's two-term presidency, contrary to social media posts claiming that Obama brought 70,000 Somalis to the state to rig future elections in favor of Somali American Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Well, me speaking, I have another video that I'm going to show you where lots of others believe this to be true. That what you find is the Demonrats literally weaponizing the Negro vote to our erasure and replacement with immigrants. And they just did it at warp speed once the Negroes delivered Joe Crow, allegedly. I happen to believe, in my opinion, that they stole the 2020 election and they used the pandemic to do it with all these mail-in ballots. I believe and my belief is steeped in what I experienced in 2016 when I was working on Bernie Sanders' campaign. I saw what Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Crooked Hillary did to hijack the primary. Not that Bernie was not complicit. He absolutely was. Because in the end, after we worked and gave money to his campaign, he came out of a meeting with Barack Obama and told us to go out here and vote for Crooked Hillary. That was when I voted, I think it was Jill Stein. Yep, I sure did. I didn't vote for Trump, but I did vote third party because I saw the grift happening. And then Bernie got on the Russiagate train along with Crooked Hillary. And then we had to take the Demonrats to court, okay? We had to take them to court to sue them for using our donations through ActBlue, our donations to Bernie Sanders. They obfuscated those donations and gave them to Crooked Hillary. Debbie Wasserman Schultz did that. Debbie Wasserman Schultz did that. And the courts ruled in the favor of the Demonrats. They told the Demonrats that it's their party. They can do with it what they damn well pleased. And that's when you saw the second time Bernie run, Jim Clyburn ran interference in South Carolina. I didn't work any more elections once they brought down that ruling. Once Bernie Sanders told us to go out here and vote for Crooked Hillary. Once they started blaming Russiagate for why she lost, trying to act like Russia impeded on our elections, I was done. I saw the writing on the wall that Bernie Sanders, who was also acting niggerant about the reparations due us after this country, even Barack Obama, gave over $12 million to Israel. But when asked the question about reparations, he wants to dumb down and act like he don't know what that is. So I saw the grift. So the second time he ran, Clyburn got involved, won in South Carolina. Then Obama marched in all of Joe Crow's contenders and told them to fall on their swords and fall back to make way for Joe Crow to win the presidency. So after you experience and you observe them stealing two primaries, it's not a reach to believe that they stole the 2020 election vis-a-vis mail-in ballots. And then they got rid of voter ID out here. And this all goes back to the courts ruling in their favor that they do not have to acquiesce their constituents. They are free to do what they want with their party, what they damn well please. So after they stole it in 2020, they pretty much ran the government by auto pen, installed Skamala, okay, as the VP. And then Joe Crow, knowing from the time he was on the debate stage, he didn't have the wherewithal to compete for the presidency. We could already see him fading on that stage. We already saw the early signs of dementia or whatever the hell he was going through. He then shows America that he wasn't fit to be the president, falls back to hand the candidacy on a silver platter to who? Skamala, the very demon rat that couldn't hold her own water when it came to running on her own 2 big feet for the presidency. She was 4th in the race for presidency her first time. She gets walked into the VP status, and now without a primary, they wanted to install her as the president. And yet folks want to sit up here and pretend that they don't understand how she lost. I'm not going to do anything different than Joe Crow. We had no primary. Listen, I'm not doing nothing specific for the Negro. So a lot of Negroes stayed home. And thankfully, they didn't get in the way of what us disruptors had to get out here and do, 28% to vote for Trump, okay? Thankfully, they didn't come out and disrupt that. But what I'm saying is voting the couch is Negro roulette with the line, because illegals are voting in these elections. That's why they got rid of voter ID. Immigrants are voting in these elections. And just because the Republican clans weren't offering reparations, that's a reach. Your own demon rats weren't offering reparations. We're out of time. And we're outmanned, outgunned, and outmoneyed. We got to weaponize the only thing we've got left, the vote, of which you just saw the demon rats. Usher in 25 million illegals and drop them into our communities to our economic genocide. We are out of time. But anywho, I digress. I just want to make the point of why I deduce that the 2020 elections were stolen. Back to the text. So irrespective of this number here, Reuters, these refugees came in under Obama, whom Negroes put into office for 2 consecutive terms. Now, it goes on to say, post on Facebook shared ahead of the U.S. presidential election on November 5 said, "Can you say rigged elections? Obama resettled 70,000 Somalians to Minnesota. They elected Omar. Planned? You bet it was. Impeach Ilhan Omar." So this was circulating on Facebook. So Reuters had to get involved. You know, these fake checkers. I always tell y'all, when the demon rats are speaking, they're lying. Anywho, back to all their pundits as well. So the Post is a part of a larger narrative that demon rats, my word, adopt more migrant-friendly policies while in office in order to secure votes for their party. Where's the lie? Where is the lie? These demon rats know that we have abandoned ship, that we're invested in us exclusively. This is why they call us xenophobes. They call us Trump supporters. All this kind of stuff that used to hurt my feelings. Now it rolls off my back like water off a duck. You can call me what you want, but I'm going to be voting in the best interest of the Negro line. I don't give a damn what you call it. That is to try to shame you into speaking up about their plans to ethnically cleanse us by economic genocide with immigrants and illegals alike. That's why you seeing them making them more American than Negroes. It is to end the line and our justice claim along with it. Back to the text. Omar, who has been representing Minnesota since 2019, arrived in the U.S. in 1995 as a refugee and is the only African-born member of Congress, as well as one of the only Muslim women in the House of Representatives. Around 54,000 Somali refugees came to the U.S. during the Obama administration, my word, between January 2009 and January 2017, according to data provided to Reuters by a State Department spokesperson. Active reports from the Refugee Processing Center, which is a part of the State Department, say that 47,442 Somalis arrived in the U.S. between October 1, 2009 and September 30, 2017. No earlier data is available online. How convenient. That's what I cannot stand about these news outlets that are in the back pockets of the Demonrats. They magically and mysteriously never had the data to tell you accurately who's Black American versus a melanated immigrant. When did the Somalis actually arrive? Where does Ilhan Omar, where does she actually descend from? Who are her parents? It's my understanding that her father was a general who were pretty much set up Somalia in the same way Israel is honoring slay the Palestinians. He was the Israel in that equation. I'm still trying to find that video I saw so I can share it with you. Because how do you go from $0.00 as a refugee to now you're worth 30 up to $60 million? In what, 3 to 5 years? So something is amiss here, family. Back to the text. From 2012 to 2017, the same data shows the maximum number of Somalis that resettled in Minnesota was 5,524. Of course, no earlier data for the state is available online. How convenient. The U.S. Census Bureau data from 2023 say 63,192 people in Minnesota had Somali ancestry, the highest concentration in the country, with the next highest in Ohio, where nearly 30,000 people reported Somali ancestry. So you're telling me that from 2012 to 2017, they grew from 5,524 constituents to over 100,000? You see where I'm going with this? And you're telling me that Obama wasn't smart enough to know he could put these refugees, these Somalis in control and get him a seat out the deal. Get Ilhan in there into Congress. In all his Harvard law degree, he couldn't come up with that scheme. And now you see all this fraud being exposed. And now she's worth 30 to 60 million. From 5,000. This is why I keep telling y'all, you must get out here and protest vote against these immigrants. You must get them out of your politics. You must run for office. You especially got to get them out of your local politics. So I'm done with that article. I'm going to move quickly through some of the other things I want to share. Once again, Minnesota, like I said, hosts the largest Somali community in the U.S., with recent estimates placing the population at around 80 to over 100,000 people, primarily concentrated in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, making them a significant cultural and political force in the state. And who did they replace? Who did they replace? The Negro. Okay, I'm going to do that one tomorrow when we touch on Ohio. I'm skipping through the things I wanted to read to you, and then we're going to get into a bunch of slides I want to share. What percentage of Somalis in Minnesota and Ohio rely on federal? Oh, I got a video for that, so I can close that out. I want to share with you guys about this not-so-model minority and how many of them are on the welfare system. It's going to blow your hair completely back as they sit up here and brag about how accomplished they are to how limited we are, how lazy we are. Let's just jump right into that part. Let me share some videos with you all. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. I see you, Ivy Dreams. I see you, The Rock. Okay. Yes, babies, I'll be over to read your comments. Keep it lit. All right. So let me share my screen. Hold on one second, y'all. Just a second. Share screen. No. Just a second. Let's go here.
First things first, I'm actually so shocked that Trump is attacking us. I think Trump should be thanking us in multiple ways, and I'm going to explain. First things first, I think we are a good example of what the American dream can look like. Like Somali Americans, and it's making me sad and it's funny. Like I know Somali who are very funny. We're like the class clan who also happens to be valedictorian. Somalis in Minnesota are so successful. I take multiple trips a year to Minnesota, and I leave so inspired. You have Somali-only, Somali-owned law firms, Somali-owned pharmacies, Somali-owned everything you can think of. And it's so inspiring to see that what my community could do in just 30 years. Literally, we came to this country not speaking English, not knowing anything. We're Black, Muslim, we're immigrant, and we're able to be that successful. It should be really applauded.
No, you guys are not that successful in Minnesota. 89% of immigrant Somali households are on some type of welfare. If you look above my head, you'll see that 23% are on cash. If we go over to food stamps, you'll see that 62% are on food stamps. If we go to Medicaid, you'll see that 86% are on Medicaid. So 89% of Somali immigrant families that have children are on some type of welfare in the United States. 89%. And this is coming from the Center for Immigration Studies. Now, in the vast majority of cases, if someone is on Medicaid, they are a net recipient in tax dollars, meaning the value of the benefits they receive from the government is more than they pay into the federal tax system. Again, that means they're a net recipient. They are taking from the system more than they're contributing to the system. So essentially 9 out of 10 Somali immigrant families that have children are taking more in dollars than they are giving to our federal tax system. I wouldn't define that as success. Let's keep it real. We should also be paying attention to this and just not ignoring it. But let's go back. Look at the light gray. It says Somali immigrant households with children over 10 years in the US. So these families have had over 10 years in the United States. And there's only a 3% difference in the amount that are on Medicaid and not. So after they've been in the US for 10 plus years, 83% of these Somali immigrant families with children are still on Medicaid. Again, that is not success. And that's not being racist or hating. That's just reality. So please do not come preaching in our face something that is not true. Anyway, that's all I got for now, guys. Just a reminder, free email newsletter, send it out every morning. The link is in my bio. It's a great place to get direct information from me. And I go more in detail there than I do in many of these videos. So the link's in my profile. When you click it, you'll see the screen right here. Just drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.
That's the great Jeffrey Mead. Hold on one second, y'all. Another video started playing before I got a chance to come over. So what I'm trying to stress to you all is that this is your not-so-model minority. While your government plays in your face, the Demonrats in particular, needing every manner of study which they don't intend to do anything with, other than to weaponize a study to keep Negroes sheepwalking to the polls to vote against their own interest. Those votes are being used to make these immigrants and these illegals more American than us, to our ethnic cleansing by economic genocide. They're constantly tell us they don't have it to cut the checks. We're constantly delivering them trifectas. And now they don't even mention us because their plan almost worked, with 90% of Black women and 77% of Black men going out here to vote for the Demonrats. If we had not done what we did, it'd be over. So they got it to do to allow them to stay on the system, to continue to birth babies at our expense. Those are our reparations. You're talking the Twin Cities. That's us. Those are the reparations. Our taxes, our Social Security being weaponized against us by the Demonrats to erase us, the same way they've done here. We get George Floyd. They get all of what we're owed. And this is why I'm on a mission to end the Demonrats in whatever small way I can contribute to their demise for several election cycles. Let's continue. Yeah, no to reparations, and you'll be denied. Our people are being denied Section 8. They're being denied food stamps. They're suffering the highest rates of homelessness, unemployment, underemployment, and evictions. They're being forced to the outskirts, never to be seen or heard from again. Let that sink in. Y'all need to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Y'all got to help me make these messages go viral. You know I'm being shadow banned. I'm not going to get myself in the lather, y'all. Let me try to stay cool. Let's keep going. Lots to share. They're not in any order. I just got to open them and close them. I'll be speaking on them. They're not in any real order. Sorry about that.
Absolutely. I called for the governor to resign several weeks ago. I just think his dereliction of duty is unconscionable. These whistleblowers have been sounding the alarm for years. We've had hearings for almost a year now, holding his agencies accountable. He's not fired anyone. He's not taken steps to stop the fraud on the front end, and he continues to make excuses. So I would absolutely want him to resign, as I said weeks ago, or I know others are looking at articles of impeachment, but he is responsible. He has turned a blind eye for 7 years, and we need to clean house in the executive branch.
And I know, Representative, you're running for governor as well to unseat him. Many of us are left with many questions about this. He was almost the vice president of the United States, and we see billions of dollars under his nose that were just wasted. What would that look like on the national level if he was the vice president of the United States?
Oh, it would be terrible. I'm so grateful that President Trump led the DOGE effort to clean up the federal government, and we need to continue to work to clean up the state government.
So, Tampon Timmy, whom 90% of Black women went out here and voted for, 77% of Black men. He could have been the president. Kamala could have been the president. This has been going on for years. They know this, and throughout the course of this broadcast today, I'm going to share with you people that they in fact knew it, and that they've been basically what I share with you guys yesterday pretty much laundering money to fund their campaigns, getting kickbacks to turn a blind eye, getting angry and upset with the whistleblowers who brought it to their attention while they did nothing about it, allowing these fraud Somalis to open up daycare centers, adult daycare and for the children. You got people saying that they didn't even see any kids or any adults going into these facilities, but the state kept funding them. What Negro do you know could defraud the state for as many years as these fraud Somalis have been able to get away with? Put it in the chat. These Demonrats are fully aware. Newscomb is fully aware of the $76.5 billion fraud on the precipice of broaching about $100 billion by the time they're done auditing. And had Kamala and Tampon Timmy been elected, we'd be none the wiser. This would have continued until we were upended along with our justice claim. Let's keep going. Let's try this one. So this is the full video of the model minority, the not-so-model-minority bragging. Let's memorialize this here. She's Delulu.
First things first, I'm actually so shocked that Trump is attacking us. I think Trump should be thanking us in multiple ways, and I'm going to explain. First things first, I think we are a good example of what the American dream can look like. Like Somali Americans, and it's making me sad and it's funny. Like I know Somali people are very funny. We're like the class clan who also happens to be valedictorian. Somalis in Minnesota are so successful. I take multiple trips a year to Minnesota and I leave so inspired. You have Somali-owned law firms, Somali-owned pharmacies, Somali-owned everything you can think of. And it's so inspiring to see that what my community could do in just 30 years. Literally, we came to this country not speaking English, not knowing anything. We're Black, Muslim, we're immigrant, and we're able to be that successful. It should be really applauded. Like, I need Trump to stand up and applaud for us because it's shocking. Literally, my friend just moved to Minnesota and she was telling me how when she gave birth, it was an all Somali staff. Her midwife was Somali. Her doctors were Somali. Her nurses were Somali. Like, that is so beautiful to see and it should be celebrated, okay? Second of all, Trump, you should be thanking my people for giving a—
Let me pause her. Who does that remind you of before white folks came through and blazed it all down? When they wouldn't treat us, when they wouldn't birth us, when they wouldn't do right by us. We had our own hospitals, our own grocery stores, our own dry cleaners, our own retail shops, our own beauty and barber salons, our own communities. We built up about 50 Black Wall Streets that our government leveled. It's not just the Somalis that are able to have the reconstruction that we experienced for a brief period. All these groups are given our reparations, taxes, and Social Security to become more American, to be able to create wealth in this country unimpeded. Their own law firms, their own midwives. While the Negro is being force-fed by the Demonrats abortion, LGBTQIA, XYZ, preschool to prison pipelines. Let's keep going.
A random Midwestern state that much clout and money. Like, I don't think, other than Chicago, I think Minnesota is really popping when it comes to tourism because of Somali Americans like me, okay? So you should be thanking us because Minnesota would have been nothing if Somalis didn't move there. Like, if we're being honest, like, we have made that state pop and we have made it beautiful for the rest of the world. So
the Negroes didn't make it wonderful before they got there?
you should thank us, and if you want, you can donate Minnesota to the great country of Somalia. Like, I think it's a nice trade-off. And last but not least, I'm so happy that people are discovering how funny, witty Somali people are. We're very confident. And although Trump said what he had to say, like, I want him to know, Yani, like, it didn't even, like, bother. Like, it didn't do anything to our confidence. We've heard everything you've said before. People always make fun of Somalia, da-da-da. But I still think I'm better than everyone. Like, God has made me Somali Muhammad. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay. On top of that, I'm Somali American, broski. Like, I'm winning on both sides. But yeah, it's just nice to see that everyone's realizing Somali people are very funny, very confident. And that's never gonna change. It has not changed since colonial days, baby boy. And it's not gonna change because somebody right now decided to make fun of us. We're actually winning the war, so. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
So these are the kinds of people that they're importing who like to slip in and out of the Black American experience for their advancement in the country of our ancestors. While we fight for reparations, while we fight for delineation, she sits up here and brags about the Somalis in Minnesota. You just heard Jeffrey Mead run the stats down to you. How many of them are reliant on the government, our taxes? They're given an American way of life by the very Demonrats that our people continue to go out here and vote against their own interests for. Let's keep going. So Nick Shirley confronts Tim Walz on Minnesota welfare fraud scandal. He's got a video that he did. Brave young white guy. It's got over 100 million views the last time I checked. I was going to try to watch it with you all here, and I still may do that for those of you that can stay awake. We'll see how much time we got left, child. Anyway, Shirley accused Governor Tim Walz of protecting vote-rich Somali communities by dismissing fraud investigators as white supremacists amid charges against dozens for schemes like billing Medicaid for phantom children, with potential losses topping $9 billion. Walz urged against demonizing the Somali community, around 100,000 strong, and focused on enhancing programs, while his office highlights federal prosecutions and audits. Whistleblowers from over 480 state employees report years of ignored warnings and retaliation as federal probes continue, and figures like Elon Musk call out the fraud regardless of race. So that's basically what they want to do. They like to play the blame game. You'll see in the videos I'm sharing today how Walz wants to blame Trump. He wants to blame, well, white folks still too. Blame it on the rain. These people need to be under the jail for what they've done. Let's get into the video down here. This is Nick Shirley. Give him a follow. He's really doing a bang-up job exposing all of the fraud. Must watch Sweet Angel Child Care, which receives $1.26 million in CCAP funding. Their phone number goes directly to the office of Tim Walz. Prosecute Tim Walz and the fraudsters. This is what I mean by them getting broke off. Let's look at it.
Care. This is where they show up to. So guys, this is absolutely mind-blowing. So I was watching the most recent video by Nick Shirley exposing these daycare centers. Now, they're going daycare to daycare, and the next one that they go to is called Sweet Angel Childcare. This is where they show up to. And this is the business right here. Sweet Angel Childcare in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, listen to where this phone number goes to when you call this childcare center. Just wait for it.
Thank you for contacting the office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. Our office is located at 130 State Capitol at 75 Reverend.
Oh my God. I'll do it again. Sweet Angel Childcare. It goes to Governor Tim Walz's office. Why is a child care center directly going to the office of the governor? Make it make sense. Hold on.
Thank you for contacting the office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan.
If this is not a direct link to Tim Walz and these fraudulent child care centers, I don't know what else is. Bro, this is crazy. I'm just in shock right now. I was recording a YouTube video and reacting to this video, and I was like, let me call and look up their Google reviews. I was just looking up their Google reviews, and I was like, let me call this number. And I call it, and it goes to Governor Tim Walz's office. Make that make sense.
Let's keep going. Can't compete with this level of crime and scams. The daycare centers are not the only scams happening in Minnesota. It is these non-medical transportation scams happening too, says American Papa Bear. 800 out of over 1,000 of these companies are owned by Somalians. There aren't even people in the vehicles. They just charge the state for mileage. Buckle up, 2026 is going to be crazy. Let's share Donnie's video. Donnie from Time Out. He's another great YouTuber. Hold on one second. Let's share the screen.
Of them are owned by Somalians.
Let's start it over.
All the daycare centers aren't the only scams that's happening in Minnesota. It's these non-medical transportation scams that's happening. So out of 1,020 of those companies, 800 of them are owned by Somalians. And you might have seen them. So they'll take people to like dentist appointments, medical appointments, doctor appointments. Well, with the Somalian companies, there's no people in these vehicles. They're just ghost riding the whip. Billing the state, charging the state for mileage that they're not even riding people around, are taking them to these appointments. And this has been exposed by Nick Shirley and his partner. I don't know his partner's name, but the other guy that be following them with all the invoices and how much money a company made. This is next. This is the next big thing.
Started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
Let's keep going. Let's keep exposing the fraud. While we're being told no, pull yourself up by your bootless straps. Oh, we're going to tell it today. We're going to tell it all today. Let's deal with their $60 million net worth. Meanwhile, Unabridged Republic shares Ilhan's husband, Tim Manette, is quickly removing all the names of his company executives because they went from $0 just 2 years ago to worth more than $60 million today. Here is the list of said executives. Omar's husband, Tim Manette, is listed as co-owner of Rose Lake. The website identifies a total 9 employees, including Will Haler, co-owner with Manette, and previously worked for the Democratic National Committee, and A.G. Keith Ellison. Bill Quesada-Duro, former treasurer of the DNC from 2017 to 2021. Adam Ireli, former United States ambassador to Bahrain from 2007 to 2011. Max Baucus, former congressman from 1975 to 2014 and former ambassador to China from 2014 to 2017. Keith R. Mestrick, former president of Amalgamated Bank from 2014 to 2021. Alex Hoffman, former chief of staff to the National Finance Chair and deputy chief of staff for finance at the DNC. He was also co-founder of Give Blue, a Democratic fundraising platform. Sheila Healy, former executive director of the Arizona Democratic Party and advisor to Senator Bernie Sanders. Two years, worth $60 million now. Ilhan was previously married to a Somalian. I think they divorced allegedly for irreconcilable differences. And these marriages are alleged to be arranged. Ilhan kept her last name, Omar. Skamala kept her last name. She's not an Imhoff. Ilhan is not a Manette. Let's keep going. It's quite disturbing to see all those Demonrat affiliates as a part of his company. Now worth $60 million. Hold on. I got so much to share. Buckle up, buttercups. Let me share my screen. Ilhan Omar, this is from David Kate. He shares, Ilhan Omar makes $174,000 annually as a congresswoman. Her net worth in 2019 was $32K. Net worth in 23 was $65K. Net worth in 24, $30 million. Her husband, Tim Manette, is the one who experienced a 3,500% growth from what? His venture capital firm suddenly receiving billions. Let's go.
In 2019, Elon. How do you enter Congress with a negative net worth in 2019 and shoot up to a $30 million net worth just in 6 years? Let's ask Ilhan Omar. I expose how corrupt politicians are, so make sure you follow me. In 2019, Ilhan Omar was elected into Congress. She started her first year, and her financial disclosure for that year was a negative net worth. When this was first reported, she absolutely denied the fact that she's a millionaire. But then a couple months later, she filed her financial disclosure. We saw a 3,500 increase in net worth compared to the previous year. Now, members of the U.S. House of Representatives earn about an annual salary of $174,000. Even if she saved every penny from her salary from the last 6 years, it wouldn't be anywhere close to $30 million. So what did suddenly happen? Oh, let's look at her husband's businesses, Tim Manette. Ilhan and her husband own 2 businesses, one of them being a winery and the other one being a venture capital firm. 2023, the value of the winery was roughly anywhere between $15,000 to $50,000. And just a year later, that same winery is now valued at anywhere between $1 million to $5 million. If you think that's suspicious, wait till you see this venture capital business. In 2023, the company had less than $1,000 in assets. Well, a year later, this venture capital that anyone can invest into is now valued at $5 million to $25 million. And what's even crazier is that the company claims to have $60 billion in assets under management. So Elon, please tell us, how does this happen? Is this just by luck, or is somebody or a foreign country perhaps funding this?
How can Negro compete with this level of fraud? How? We'd be under the jail. Okay. I'm sure you guys have seen this circulating as well, but I must memorialize it here. Amy Meck shares, why is the West importing Islamic racist? Me speaking, that's the only kind of immigrant they allow into the country. The ones who detest the Negro. That's why I call them Crayolas with 3 Ks. Back to the text. And why is the media covering for them? Meet Sheikh Saeed Rajia, a Somali-born, Saudi-raised radical imam who stands in the West where he was graciously welcomed and spews racist bile against the Black Americans. This one's gone viral, but I need to memorialize it here. According to this religious Muslim, African Americans don't know their fathers. Basically, we're all bastards who were conceived vis-a-vis one-night stands. This is who our government, Barack Obama in particular, brought into the country as refugees and plopped them into the Twin Cities, where Prince is from, for God's sake. We don't know our fathers and are the result of one-night stands. This is a man who follows an ideology built on slavery, racial supremacy, and the oppression of non-Muslims. And yet, instead of being thrown out, he is given platforms, mosque, and influence in North America. Let's just get to this because I don't feel like hearing from her in that respect no more. I don't feel like it.
They don't.
I want to memorialize this here.
Most of the people that we meet, especially African Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, most of them were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They will tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me. I don't know. Is that what we want for our ummah? No. كلهم أو معظمهم أبناء الزنا. أبناء الزنا. Why? Because man, he has to give up the seed. And because the marriage will limit them, they will go from one to another to a third. You know, subhanallah, it's one of the African American brother who accepted Islam. He said, Sheikh, Islam limited me. Only allowed me 4 wives. He said, before I became a Muslim, I had 40 girls, mashallah, tabarakallah. And I used to maintain all of them well, tabarakallah. But he said, now Islam is limiting me only to 4. So children will be well taken care of. And there won't be children who do not know their fathers.
That's what they think of you. As you continue to vote for the very Demonrats that bring them over here to exercise their racism against the Negro. The unmitigated gall to address the very Negro who descends from chattel slavery. In the country our ancestors built with their lives to call us, in effect, bastards created through a one-night stand. And where there's smoke, there's fire. This is a sentiment of that collective that Obama had come into this country on his watch. Let's keep going. Sharing my screen. Mr. Guns and Gear says almost all the Section 8 taxpayer-funded homes occupied by Somali invaders had multiple new cars in front of them, according to this local handyman. Not surprisingly, he comes to the obvious conclusion that the vehicles were financed by the hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer fraud these foreign invaders have stolen from the American people, with the assistance, might I add, of the Demonrat enablers. Let's hear from him.
I'm from Minneapolis, and Somalians are just part of the culture here. As far back as I can remember, I've always seen Somalians. And in these past 5 years, the population increased so much. It went from seeing them to them feeling like the majority a lot of places that I go. And also over the past few years, I've noticed that I see a lot of them with new cars. So I'm a handyman, and I worked on a lot of Section 8 housing to make sure they're up to standard. And one thing I've noticed when I go see Section 8 houses, one, it's usually a Somali family. What I mean, usually it's 9 times out of 10. And those houses usually have new cars in the front. I mean, cars with an S, multiple new cars. And what I mean usually is like 8 out of 10 Somali houses, I've seen that. And I always wondered how someone on Section 8 can afford multiple new cars. I just couldn't put it together. So now finding out about this fraud stuff makes so much sense. And you know who I feel bad for other than me for paying for that shit with my taxes? Is Somalians who came here on the up and up and who didn't break the law. Because as a Black man, I know how it feels to be judged because someone else with your same skin color did some stupid shit that you wouldn't approve of. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but one thing I do know is I've been saying for years we need to kick Tim Walsh out because he knew about this shit from the beginning.
There we go with our beautiful, empathetic hearts. Our beautiful, empathetic hearts. I don't give these groups no grace. All that I've come to learn and understand about the Demonrats' intentional neglect of Negroes and plans to ethnically cleanse us along with our justice claim, all bets are off. No grace. That's why I continue to encourage our people to stay in your comfort zone. The ancestors are busy seeking justice. Relax. Because these are the type of people I speak of that the minute you go out here and be a personal bulletproof vest for them, the minute they turn their circumstances around and the racism is leveled back at the Negro, they'll be back into the space of who they truly are. Crayolas with 3 Ks. They give 0 damns about the Negro. We are all we've got. Let's keep going. Is it really 9:23? Oh my God. Time just flies when I'm having fun. Lord have mercy. I got a lot to share. So if y'all got to go, I understand, child. I'm going to get this out of me. I got to get it up and out. I've been waiting to do this one for a long time. Johnny Midnight shares, Minnesota man who's been living next to a Somali daycare center for 8 years says he's never seen a single child there. None. Not at all. And I've been here since 2017. They're stealing the money. Let's watch. This is Nick Shirley again. I don't think we've seen this one. I hope not.
Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child, you've never seen daycare.
I haven't seen anybody in there.
We're going to educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None, not at all. None.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know, where are the kids?
Right.
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that
seen
here.
a child here.
No, not at all.
And so you've
8
never
years.
seen a child here for 8 years?
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel, knowing that this place is receiving $1.9 million?
Disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant too. That's, if they get caught for that, it's a federal offense. I know. I studied law.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? Well, heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here. It's simple. It's nothing there. It's a parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my God. Well, where? Yeah, it's just, I've never seen nobody here at all.
So how long have you been living here?
Since 2017.
You've never seen a single child walk in that building?
No, not at all.
So this daycare center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million just this year alone. And this guy's been living here for 8 years and has never seen a single child walk through those doors. There's no windows either.
No.
And the
So you see they misspelled learning. Makes me hotter than fish grease, y'all. Let's keep going. Of Somali immigrant households with children are on some type of welfare. You're not so model minority. 89% of Somali immigrant households with children are on some type of welfare. Our tax dollars, our reparations, our Social Security. 86% of Somali immigrant households with children are still on welfare after being in the U.S. for 10 years. That's not integration and assimilation. That's long-term dependency. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Okay, Nas, one of the guys I really love sharing his post. Let's share this one. So, Nas shared, Tim Walz is one of the people who should be prosecuted. The full weight of the legal system must come down on Tim Walz and every other Minnesota official with ties to these scamming Somalians. He's absolutely correct. Red Wave Press shared, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's office pushes back after independent journalist Nick Shirley's viral Minnesota Somali fraud video. The governor has worked for years to crack down on the fraud. Really? We can't tell. And asked the state legislature for more authority to take aggressive action. Oh, now that it's been exposed, right? The spokesperson said he has strengthened oversight, including launching investigations into these specific facilities, one of which was already closed. The spokesperson added that Walz has hired an outside firm to audit payments to high-risk programs. shut down the Housing Stabilization Services Program entirely, announced a new statewide program integrity director, and supported criminal prosecutions. Nobody believes any of it. Let's listen.
It's the main point. The main point. Governor Tim Walz, who's been under the microscope because of this, he released this statement. He said the governor has worked for years to crack down on fraud. He has strengthened oversight, including launching investigations into the specific facilities, one of which was already closed. He has hired an outside firm to audit payments, shut down the Housing Stabilization Services Program, announced a new statewide program, integrity director, and supported criminal prosecution. But he went after the whistleblowers.
I know.
That's the problem. He went, the people that were screaming about this, they went after, and this guy was almost the vice president of the United States. The media was tipped off about this story. There was no coverage of this during the presidential race.
I know. He's such a liar. Also, I mean,
That's the main point. Governor Tim Walz, who's been under the microscope because of this, he released.
You didn't hear a peep about this until Trump got in office and started doing oversight and started doing audits. So this is hold on one second, y'all. I want to share this one. It's a shout out to Nick Shirley for doing the work that the mainstream media has failed to do. It makes no sense that an independent reporter like Nick Shirley, who this gentleman here is giving him his flowers, has exposed more about this fraud and has been boots on the ground, speaking with the locals about what's been going on. You don't see CNN out there talking to these people, doing any investigative journalism. MSNBC, CBS, they're all in the pocket of the Demonrats. And they want this to go away. So the Negroes will continue to sheepwalk to the polls to vote against their own interests, to vote for their ethnic cleansing by economic genocide with these fraudsters. They want to keep you to sleep. That's why Nick Shirley took to the streets. Let's hear what this gentleman has to say about it. Give him his flowers. Hold on one second.
Shout out to Nick Shirley. Man, I am so glad you did that. It is going crazy viral all over the internet. All of us who have been calling out the Democrats are appreciating you because we've been saying this for years. Now, for those of you who know me in real life, you know that I used to work around kids at charter schools. You know that I did the federal accounting. Some people on my channel don't know that. They just think I'm just a guy that drives cars around. I retired from accounting, did federal accounting for the school. So what Nick said is right. Nobody's checking up on that. In Nevada, the state sends people to our schools. They actually send people to our schools during count days, after count days. We go over financials all the time. They see kids, they see teachers, they see staff. They know the federal dollars are going in good hands. The state does that. What happened in Minnesota? It wasn't happening because all it took was for the state to do like what Nick did. Go there. The fact that they didn't go there tells me this wasn't just a small oversight. This was training. The people in Minnesota, the administration, all of these people, they are trained to do fraud. It started at the top. I'm telling you, and it didn't just start with the state. It started at the federal level. Who's ever in charge at the federal level for that state? Ilhan Omar, her boss, Obama. These people all are programmed to know exactly what to do because you need social security numbers, you need bodies, you need parents, you need addresses, you need contact phone numbers. A registrar will have all of that. So if the registrar of the school has social security numbers and files on all of these kids, then the state should have those same files. If the state doesn't have files on that, then where are these social security numbers coming from in order to get that much money? Remember, I told you in the last video, the head of the Social Security division, she resigned the moment Trump took office because they know there's something going on with these social security numbers. There's no way you can get millions and millions of dollars like that without social security numbers. I used to do the federal part of the accounting for the school, so I know exactly how it works. What Nick Shirley did, hey, hats off to you, brother. It's like that easy just to get up, drive down the street, and to say, hey, can I tour your facility? It's that easy to find out if somebody's committing fraud.
All the way back to y'all's Jesus, Barack, Obama, Ilhan, worth millions, with $174,000 a year salary. Her husband, Tim Manette, $60 million. I just ran down the list of Demonrats that are the employees, the 9 employees that they're trying to scrub and hide from we the people. We must defeat the Dems. We must unass our couches. For several election cycles, for their intentional neglect of the Negro, for their ethno-genocidal plans for the Negro. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. We've got work to do. The midterms are around the corner. We cannot allow them to get back in office. We must go out here and strike a protest vote so that more fraud can continue to be exposed. Let's keep going. Hold on, y'all. It says here, Ilhan Omar's husband runs one of the largest venture capitalist firms, which went from $0 to $60 billion in assets in about a year or two. They just started scrubbing their site. Interesting. Let me show you the picture so y'all can see. There's no video. It's just a photo. I want to show you her husband. You know, these are the very people that say they don't do anything outside of their culture because everybody's beneath them. But here she is with a whole white boy. There they are. Let me see if I can. Can I blow that image up at all and so you can see the whole thing? $60 billion in assets in at least 2 years from zero. With those 9 Demonrat affiliates as employees that they're now scrubbing. This is your not-so-model-minority. Let's keep going. Care. The parents got the kickbacks, y'all. Let's watch.
Order for the scheme to work, the daycare centers need to sign up low-income families that qualify for child care assistance funding. These surveillance videos are from a case prosecuted by Hennepin County. They show parents checking their kids into a center only to leave with them a few minutes later. Sometimes no children would show up. But either way, the center would bill the state for a full day of child care. This video from that same case shows a man handing out envelopes of what are believed to be kickback payments to parents who are in on the fraud.
Where was the money going? I don't know exactly where it went, but it...
Order for the scheme to work, the daycare centers need to sign up low...
This is what we're up against, y'all. This is why we're outmanned, outgunned, and outmoneyed. Minnesota AG Keith Ellison said the quiet part out loud during his congressional campaign. The Democrat plan all along was to import new voters and scatter them across the U.S., then give them citizenship and tax favors and turn a blind eye to the fraud so that they could funnel our tax dollars to other Demonrat candidates across the U.S. Let's watch.
The election is very important.
Yes, it is.
So can you tell us why the Somali communities are very important for the election?
Well, the Somali community is critical. In my own election, I wouldn't be in office without the help of the Somali community. Somali voters came out in very large numbers and were able to register people to vote. Very recently I think there was several thousand Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
Somalis can make a huge impact on this election. And I can tell you without a doubt, it's not just in Minnesota that Somalis make a big difference in the election. Also in Ohio, which is a battleground state. Somalis that are in Columbus, Ohio, and in Virginia, all have a role, an opportunity to play a very big role in this election. And so I think many of us are counting on the Somali community to get involved, stay involved, but not just vote, help others vote. On my campaign, we have tremendous leaders. For example, Hibu Isaac, who is a great leader, very articulate, very smart young lady who is out gathering in Somali voters and other voters to get them to the polls. Also, we have Miriam, who's on our campaign, and others as well. So we believe that the Somali community plays a critical role, not just in Minnesota, but in Ohio and in Virginia. And so call your relatives out there so we can get them to the polls.
Wow.
It be your own people selling you out. Identity and respectability parlay tricks must die for the Negro to flourish. Must die for the Negro to flourish in the country of our ancestors. Boston too. That's right, Yaira. Stand by. More to share. This is the one I was looking for. Let me see if there's a video. Otherwise, I'll just read it and keep moving. Yep. Okay. Let me share it. This is the one I was looking for to tell you where she descends from. Let me show the video and then I'll go back and read if he doesn't announce it in the video. Okay. Let's do it that way. Uh-oh. Are they just images? Maybe so.
To be coming out of our country. I mean, I grew up in a...
Let me pause that. It reads differently than what is recorded there. So let me read it first and then I'll share the recording with you. This is Real Robert. The story the media refuses to report about Ilhan Omar's family. Listen to this, y'all. And clutch your invisible pearls. Long before they enter the U.S. as refugees, quote unquote, Ilhan Omar's family was part of Somalia's ruling structure. So back to what I was sharing with you yesterday. They're only allowing melanated immigrants that look like you and me in this country if they come from money. Unakin to the Mexicans who can be poor as church mice, but can identify or sign up as white. These are the money ones they're allowing in. Barack Obama knew this woman was going to be chosen and installed in the same way Joe Crow installed Skamala, who is of East Indian Brahmin caste. Her father, Nur Omar Mohammed, served as a colonel in the military of Syed Bar, the very regime responsible for the genocide of the Isaac people, one of the most severe ethnic exterminations in modern African history. From roughly 1987 to 1989, the Bar government waged a deliberate campaign against Isaac civilians. Remember, I was comparing it to the Israelis versus the Palestinian pays. Remember? That's this. He was Israeli. The Isaac people were the Palestinians' pay. From roughly 1987 to 1989, the Barr government waged a deliberate campaign against Isaac civilians. Mass executions, aerial and artillery attacks, widespread displacement, the razing of villages, rape, landmines, and other atrocities. Entire cities were reduced to rubble, and whole communities were erased. So why would they have any feelings about Negroes like Mr. George Floyd being executed by the pig race soldiers? In a genocidal system, a military colonel is not a passive observer. He follows orders, enforces genocide, and understands exactly what he and the state are doing. So, the more accurate account is not that Ilhan Omar's family escaped violence, but they left after their genocidal faction was defeated. Yet, here she is, no less a bigamist, lecturing Americans about the U.S. Constitution and the founding fathers, calling America one of the worst countries on earth and openly calling for the overthrow of the U.S. government, urging people to take to the streets.
In a dictatorship. And I don't even remember ever witnessing anything like that. To have a democracy, a beacon of hope for the world to now be turned into one of the worst countries where the military are in our streets without any regard for people's constitutional rights, while our president is spending millions of dollars propping himself up like a failed dictator with a military parade. It is really shocking, and it should be a wake-up call for all Americans to say this is not the country we were born in. This is not the country we believe in. This is not the country our founding fathers imagined. And this is not the country that is supported by our Constitution, our ideals, our values. And we should all collectively be out in the streets rejecting what is taking place this week.
I told y'all, whenever the Demonrats are speaking, they're lying. Yeah. Let's keep going. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. Barron Trump shares. Boom, a former Somali prime minister speaking in Minnesota just said the quiet part out loud about Ilhan Omar. The interests of Ilhan are not Minnesota. Hold on. Not the American people. Her interests are Somalia and the Somalian people. The crowd erupted because everyone already knows it. You don't get to swear allegiance to America and then represent another country's interest. That's not representation. That's betrayal. Minnesota deserves loyalty to the U.S. America deserves elected officials who put this country first. Enough pretending, enough excuses. And like I mentioned on yesterday's broadcast, there's nowhere in the free world that we could go to any other country and be installed in the way these first and second gen immigrants are. After we've been here since before Columbus. Let's take a listen.
قضية إلهام معها قضية إلهام معها قضية مينيسوتا معها قضية غير مريكان قضية إلهام وقضية صومالية قضية إلهام معها قضية إلهام معها قضية.
I'm going to actually silence it so that I can read it for those who may not be able to read it, since he's speaking in his foreign tongue, which they do often in this country. It should not be allowed unless they're amongst each other. But when they're running for office and they're already installed, they should not be able to speak their own language. They should have to speak English. They shouldn't even be able to serve. If you don't descend from U.S. chattel slavery, you should not be holding public office. The interests of Ilhan, hold on, y'all. That's in the way. The interests of Ilhan. It's not the interest of Minnesota. Nor is it the interest of the American people. The interest of Ilhan is that of the Somalian people and Somalia. This is a problem of exponential proportion. This is how flat blackness in this country is to our ethnic cleansing. Let's keep going. Okay, so we got a whistleblower we're going to hear from next. This is crazy. In 2022, a disabled Somali whistleblower came forward to expose some of the fraud happening in Minnesota. Afterwards, he feared retribution from the Somali community, so he fled to Africa. But when he arrived there, they beat him for talking. Let's listen. This is Abdi Osman Noor.
All of a sudden, there was a boom, and people were buying very expensive homes and posting about those homes.
Where was all the money coming from?
Everybody knew, but nobody had the courage to speak about it because they understood the repercussions. So I decided to speak out.
Afraid of repercussions for speaking out in the Twin Cities, Abdi went on a trip to Africa early this year. When he got there, he says he was attacked and pepper sprayed for information he put online regarding feeding our future.
All of a sudden, there was a boom, and people were buying very expensive homes and posting about those homes.
Where was all the money coming from?
Everybody knew, but nobody had the courage to speak about it because they understood the repercussions. So I decided to speak out.
Afraid of repercussions for speaking out in the Twin Cities, Abdi went on a trip to Africa early this year. When he got there, he says he was attacked and pepper sprayed for information he put online regarding feeding our future.
All of a sudden,
they all need to be in jail. Is that it? Hold on one second, y'all. Did I get to? Oh, I have a few more, y'all. Hang in there. Lord have mercy. I got just a few more. Okay, that one's for the Columbus. That's for the Ohio broadcast tomorrow. Hold on. Maybe these are for Ohio. Let me see. Elon Musk says demon rats use our welfare system to turn illegals into voters. Let me share this. I think he speaks on this. I'll read whatever he doesn't speak on.
So the wage report in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate. That's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year. That is also a mechanism by which the Democrats attract and retain illegal immigrants by essentially paying them to come here and then turning them into voters.
Yes.
So this is why the Democrats are so upset about the situation, because they're losing, if we turn off this gigantic money magnet for illegal immigrants, then they will leave and they will lose voters. So
let me read it. It was rather low. Okay. Let me just read it real quick. I can't adjust the volume. It's up as high as it will go. Elon Musk says Democrats use our welfare system to turn illegals into voters. That is also a mechanism by which the demon rats attract and retain illegal immigrants by essentially paying them to come here and then turning them into voters. I don't know if you guys recall one of my previous broadcasts where I shared about how they had people out at the borders passing out flyers to the illegals to vote for Joe Crow in the upcoming election against Trump in 24. You can look that up. They had them out there passing out papers to these illegals to vote for the demon rats, Joe Crow. Vote him into office. They were campaigning at the border. So Elon is absolutely correct. These are their replacement voters. That's why you don't hear them mentioning anything about us. That's why they're hell-bent on not even speaking on us. They're hell-bent on not giving us reparations because they're spending it already on our replacements. Don't you get it? That's why you don't see them giving us an anti-Negro hate crime bill. That's why you see them not ending qualified immunity. They're using us to upend us in our justice claim. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. It's also a mechanism by which the demon rats attract and retain illegal immigrants by essentially paying them to come here and then turning them into voters. Entitlement spending. Most of the federal spending is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate. It's that sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year. This is why the demon rats are upset about the situation, because they're losing, if we turn off this gigantic money magnet for illegal immigrants, then they will leave and they'll lose their voters. Let me share this one, Terrence K. Williams. This is a slap in the face to every American. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm an American small business owner in the food industry, and I'm beyond angry. Let's see if he says the same thing. I don't want to repeat it. Just a second. Yeah, he might be saying the same thing. Hold on. I'm telling everybody right now, you might be offended watching this video, but I don't give a damn, okay? So I want to know, somebody got some explaining to do, okay? We got so many veterans who can't even get a small business loan. We got so many Americans who were born in this country can't even get a small business loan. They can't even get a business grant. They can't get no money from the government at all. And then these dirty ass Somalians come over here, okay, not all of them, but the ones that's committing fraud, those dirty ass Somalians come over here, haven't put any work into this country, haven't paid any damn taxes, okay? Then they get millions and millions and millions on top of millions of dollars to start a business that don't even exist. When you got, do you not know how many small business owners right now could use a damn loan, could use a government grant? And we got to pay business tax, this tax, that tax, sales tax, this and that, in the third. And then, y'all, they're taxing us to pay for our own replacements. We're paying for it through taxes, through our reparations and our Social Security. Giving the money to these immigrants who ain't put a damn thing into this country. They don't even have real businesses. And they getting millions on top of millions. They ain't even making no real revenue. And they getting money. They don't even have a business to make revenue. And they getting approved for loans. Now, I'm hearing the Small Business Administration is looking into this. But I know so many veteran-owned businesses who can't get a loan, who can't get help, can't get a grant. In Americans, period. So many businesses struggled. And a lot of them did not survive after COVID. And they can't even get help from the government. They can't even get money. Oh, you better, as a small business owner, I'm pissed the hell off, okay? Because I can't get a damn business loan or nothing, a grant or anything. You know how hard it is? And then to see these fraudulent, corrupt, dumbass Somalians rob taxpayers like me and you getting business loans and grants and funding and all of this stuff. What the hell? Yo, as an American business owner, I'm pissed off. Because just like me and others, it's so hard to get funding. But these people come over here and get money like it's nothing. That is a slap in the face to every taxpayer in this country. A slap in the face. Y'all, this is absolutely insane. Somebody better go to jail. Somebody better go to prison behind this. And not just the Somalians. It better, I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of politicians, they knew about this fraud, they are in on it, and they need to go to jail. No lies detected. Okay, y'all, we're at 2 hours. I'm going to look at the other ones that I had to share with you and see if it's worth doing a part 2 for this one and pushing out the Ohio one. I may let it rest on that note. You get the idea. I want to read your comments before I let you go, before I do my declare and decree and pray us out, our prayer of protection. I'm only going to read the pertinent ones, okay? I thank you all for joining and for keeping, for keeping the chat lit. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. The Rock said, along with our reparations, we need a recognition and protection amendment added to the Constitution. Yes, I agree. I concur. One and one people, thanks so much for joining the live, sucking us dry. Yep. No lies detected. Hi, George Wichard III. It's the whole system, repugnant clans and demon rats. It's not just the demon rats. Yeah, well, one and one people, like I said yesterday, you cannot get us caught up in a perpetual cycle of lesser of two evil voting, then decide to vote the couch because both parties suck for the Negro. You got to eke you out a tangible. And the one me and 28% of our electorate who showed up to the polls chose was deportation, closed borders, for the very reasons that were presented in yesterday's live and today, and the one tomorrow, and the one the day after that, and the one day after that, and so on and so forth. To me, you ringing the bells on demon rats, so is the Republicans. Yeah, well, I'm ringing the bell, one and one people, on the demon rats because Negroes have been voting for them for 60 to 70 years. And we are bottom caste in the country our ancestors built with their lives. So yes, I seek to defeat them every midterm and every general until times get better for the Negro. All the repugnant clan and demon rats are just alike because repugnant clans are bringing in India. They doing the same thing, and so are the Asians. Absolutely. Once again, y'all can't get up. We got two parties here. What do you suggest we do? Continue to sit on the couch while our local politics is taken over by these very people? I think not. I think not. And you got enough repugnant clans who don't like the Asian folks either. And they've got more numbers. They've got more money because they stole it all from us. They got more guns. And so, as you'll see in tomorrow's broadcast, if I choose to do Ohio tomorrow, that's already scheduled, which I more than likely will, because I think I've made the point here. You're going to see Vivek Ramaswamy and how he's been trying to become governor of Ohio, but he's pissed off them white folks. They're not having it. He called them lazy. You see, it's okay for him to call the Negro lazy, but now he done stepped on white toes in the MAGA movement. So white folks gonna stop them from being in power. White folks more than likely won't vote for J.D. Vance because of Usha. So yeah, we've been giving the votes to the demon rats. We've got a two-party system because no one ever taught the Negro to weaponize their vote and socialize their suffering, akin to what I've been doing with my broadcast since Obama. I want to say 2016. I'll take my much-needed breaks, but I keep coming back to stress my point that we need to weaponize our vote and socialize our suffering because when the demon rats are in control of the country, we're the only ones in distress. And right now, the repugnant clans are the lesser of the two evils because they are at least attempting to deport, using ICE to deport, not in the numbers I prefer, but it's better than the demon rats who let 25 million unvetted, unvaxxed illegals into the country and drop them into our communities, not the white communities, not the immigrant communities, into our communities. They have become the lesser of two evil that our people have got us caught in a 70-year perpetual cycle of. So no, they don't get a pass. Yes, both parties suck for the Negro. But right now, Trump is the lesser of the two evil. Can you imagine where we'd be if the fraud was able to take effect nationwide because we reinstated the demon rats who brought the problem over the border 25 million strong? I don't care what y'all say. Life under Trump for the Negro is far better than Joe Crow and Skamala. Ivy Dreams, welcome to the live, my love. This is why delineation is a must. Absolutely. Absolutely, because what these melanated immigrants love to do is to take all the credit. They love to brag about their contributions. And when they do something nefarious, the Negro gets blamed for that under flat blackness. Bruce says you could do a lot in 30 years when you get subsidies coming through the gates and the society and government doesn't impede your prosperity. Amen, Bruce. That's why I call them the not-so-model-minority, as they look down their noses at the very Negroes whose civil rights made it possible for them to even be here. And it's diabolical to see the Demonrats, whom Negroes been voting for 60, 70 years, be the agent of all this chaos amongst our people. I hold them accountable because they are who we by and large have been voting for. Several trips a year to Minnesota on whose time? Prince Paisley Park. Yep, Twin Cities. Is it a coincidence that none of these fleers have a track record of rapid progress and success before they arrived here? Come on, Bruce. It's not a coincidence. They've been installed. We talked about Barack Obama, how most of this came in under him. Just like Skamala was installed. Joe Crow was installed. These people don't have the talent that we've got. They don't have the brilliance that we've got. Whenever we show out in brilliance, in patents, and creation, our government burns it down to keep us bottom caste, because that is what capitalism requires, and they decided we are it. And all these other groups are complicit. They know what it is. Yep. They sit up here and they can't give us reparations when they're paying for our replacements. This is what they're using our reparations on. Rude Trackers, thanks for being here, love. We know they got it to pay us this overdue debt. They just want it for others so badly. They want us dead along with our justice claim, which is why we must defeat them. What's up, Satra Del Rey 360? I see you, fam. Welcome to the live. Moonduck Maximus laughing at my Crayola. That's right, you spelled it correctly. Crayola with 3 Ks. Welcome to the live. Obama said our black boys need a gay male mentor. Yes, Ivy Dreams, he sure did. Another reason we must defeat the Demonrats. What do you expect from the LGBTQIAXYZ president? I'm getting Vicky Dillard vibes. I was here. I think Vicky and I started around the same time. Yes. We ain't going nowhere, says New Year's Queen. New Year's Queen. No grace. Delineation is a must. 13, 14, and 15 Amendment is for freedmen. He laughing like they paying him. I don't know who you're referencing. Oh, you talk about the guy who said he never saw any kids coming to the daycare? No, I think he was just like, hysterical. Like, this can't be happening. They use and abuse Amendment 14 for their so-called birthright citizenship. We need lawyers to sue them. Yeah, if we could only find lawyers that aren't in the pockets of the Demonrats. Johnny Cochran was trying to help us with the reparations. You see what happened to him. I want to post my link. What's your link? I don't know. I gotta Moonduck Maximus, email me your link. I'm going to fly my banner. Email me at thereperspect@gmail.com and let me see what your link is before you share it, okay? Hold on. I think it jumped. I got to screen it before I say you can post it. I want 20-year moratorium on all immigration. Fam, we need longer than that. This happened at 65. We're in 25. We need about that many years to stop the immigration until Negroes are flourishing in the country of our ancestors. Thank you, Sadra. Take your time, Miss Nirvana. We missed you. They can catch you on the replay. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you, Sadra. I missed y'all too. But you see, I get very, very mad. And it's just hard to keep reporting on this nonsense. But I got 11 months to defeat the Demonrats at the polls come midterm. So I have to weigh in. They did, okay. They did 60 years of damage. I say at least 50 years. Bruce, I'm with you. Okay? Yes, moratorium. My family has always had to work. Ivy, I don't know anyone that's Negro whose family hasn't had to work like the Dickens to pull themselves up by their bootless straps. Root Tracker shares a Banff sister in Minnesota had 5 children and could not get any economical help for her children. She said she knows why now. Yes, yes, yes. This is why. They're giving away all of her help to these immigrants and illegals. That's why we must defeat the Demonrats. Nick Shirley did more than the FBI. He should get an award. I concur. And you guys go and find his video and give him a watch and give him a sub. He's on X, and I have the video, but we just don't have the time to watch it because I think it's close to an hour long. We are already at 2 hours and 20 minutes. 50 daycares Nick went to and not one child. He even had doors shut in his face. I'm surprised they haven't tried to take him out. Resigning won't help keep you out of prison. Come on now. Orange Man is in chaos. I think we're going to lose one of the houses. Well, I pray not. I pray not, Bruce. We can't afford to give the Demonrats any edge. We have to give them a preview into what's coming in 28 for their intentional neglect of the Negroes. Malcolm X warned us about the white liberals. Correct. Ivy Dreams. Root Trackers by Yaira states Boston too. With these Somalis and the fraud. They have sold us out to the immigrants. They have sold us out, Ivy Dreams, for the immigrants with our own votes. Our votes have undone us. A vote for Demonrats have totally set us on a path and a course of no return. If we don't get some act right come the midterms and 28, it's the end of the line. I hate to keep reiterating this point, but the boomers are the ones responsible for this mess. They voted for, hi, Benton 7560, thank you for returning. They voted for all of these horrible policies that affect us to this day. If we don't fix it, we are done. Benton 7560, no lies detective family, and we are out of time. He goes on to say, I doubt it. I know you voted for Obama twice, and you probably voted for Joe Crow and Skamala in 24. You're mainly responsible for this mess. Don't beat up on Brewski, okay? If he's over here and he's a boomer, he's more than likely on our team. So don't make him mad, Benton. These DNC lunatics have the nerve to argue these facts with their emotional fake outrage. Yes, honey. Like I said, when the Demonrats are talking, they're lying. The The voice of the venomous snake. This Omar woman is rough on the eyes. Why are these people so unattractive? Now, I don't think they're unattractive. Some of them have a little strange heads, but I don't think she's unattractive. And who voted for this woman in Minnesota? This is what they did, darling. When they came over here as refugees, they groomed her for that position, and they put a bunch of Somalis in her district, and those are the ones that voted for her. Okay? That's what they're doing all over the country. I told you in the earlier top of the broadcast when I made a correction to our numbers, we're 2 million in the state of California. The Latinos are over 15 million. They're about 40% of the population here. That's what the Demonrats have been doing in every demonratically ran city and state where we used to be the predominant numbers. They bring them in there and they create a whole new voter base that way. What do founding fathers mean to Ilhan? Honey, she just knows how to talk that talk. She knows how to talk like a politician. It means nothing to her. We mean nothing to her. You just heard the man say, she ain't here for Minnesota. She ain't here for Americans. She's here for Somalians and Somalia. He didn't mince words, and that's the square she's been on. They have been inbreeding countless centuries, said root trackers. If your family was not in the U.S. in 1776, you can't say founding fathers, said Ivy Dreams. Oh, honey, they think they're more American than the Negro, child. Wow, no wonder she looks inbred. Hell, and all of them look inbred. Come on now. I'm just clicking through, y'all. Terrorist talk. Come on. Invader talk, sis. He looks like he had... Oh, Lord. Benton, could you get serious? I can't be flashing this kind of stuff on my thing. Let me slow down and vet these comments before I flash them on the screen. The Somalis said they've been in Minnesota 2,000 years. Honey, they making stuff up at this point to try to stay in the country that they hate. I thought taking the oath of citizenship meant giving up allegiances to other countries. No foreign languages should be spoken by government officials. Public waving of foreign flags should be illegal. I concur. And they should not be able to serve in public office on any level. If we can't do it in their countries, they shouldn't be able to do it in ours. But we know white folks are responsible for how we got here. They have weaponized immigrants and illegals against the Negro to ethnically cleanse us by economic genocide. Now it's boomeranged. Now that it's costing them their homes, their fortunes, and they're seeing that they created a monster they can no longer contain, now their panties are in a bunch. The chickens have come home to roost. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Using illegals to vote for the Demonrats, correct. Never forget the Black Hawk Down incident. Black Hawk Down. Could you remind me? I don't know that incident, sweetheart. That's right, Sister Angela says root tracker. Billions. Yes, it runs deep. Zell, okay, sis. Oh, thank you, Zaira. Yes, you can sell me sweets. Thank you so much. Yes, if you'd like to give to the Reparations Perspective, you can do so. Cash App, $TRPTV. Root Trackers can Zell because she's got my number. I sure appreciate the love from each and every one of you. It helps me to keep going and to keep sharing the nefariousness and the intentional neglect by the Demonrats towards the Negro. There's nothing benign about it. At that couch, we're going to get ran down and not have a couch to sit on. That's right, Yaira. You coined that the last election. You vote the couch, you go F around and find out and not have a couch. Jackson, man 80, thank you for joining the live. Says free Minnesota. New York's queen. I can't stand these loop-de-doop-de-doop. Somalis are good people. Stop hating, sis. Okay, see. Jackson, man 80. I am not hating. I'm delineating. Okay? Negroes are great people too. But I'm showing the corruption. I'm showing the complicity of the ones that are in bed with the Demonrats to ethnically cleanse us by economic genocide with our own damn votes. Y'all's, not mine. Okay? I don't vote for Demonrats. How are they good people? And they all scamming. And 90% of them are on welfare. 90% of the ones with kids. Please. Hi, Pinky. You're right, and I won't be sitting on the couch. I'm going to be out there defeating the Demonrats. We all need to declare independence and get out here and defeat the Dems. That's what the protest voter strategy is all about. I was living good under Biden. How so, Jackson Man 80? Do share. Exactly. We must stand up, not sit to get mulled over. Angela, you're right. Trump giving me what I wanted. Deportations, closed borders, ending birthright citizenship. That's right, Pinky. Pinky, if you listen to the top of the broadcast, I cited the numbers, and you're correct. I don't know. I think I was loopy last night going so long when I said 200,000. At the top of that broadcast, I said Negroes, blacks are 2 million. But somewhere towards the bottom of the broadcast, I heard myself say 200,000. So I made the correction. The Latinos are over 15 million, and we're about 2 million in the state, okay? Just so you know, if you listen to the top of the broadcast, you'll hear me talk about the naturalized citizens and the illegals as well. I quote those numbers. At Jackson Man 80, Angela is spitting facts and not hating. Stop your DN shield trolling. He clearly is a shill, Yaira. You snipped him out. He said that Obama was the best ever. Okay, I'm not going to share nothing else you got to say, Jackson, man, because you are clearly just say no. You need to say no to them drugs you smoking. Benta said, Jackson Man 80, get out of here now. That's right. Get him, Benton. Obama was the worst president in the history for us Americans. Speak that truth. Put Negroes to sleep, myself included. Lord, I'm so grateful to be awake. Obama was a black cheese. Jackson Man is white or a tether. Oh, I'm a black man born in Detroit. My wife is Latina. Oh, Jackson, don't tell us that, because I might literally have to block you. If you marry an outside of the Negro line, you really don't have no business over here, because I believe Negro love, marriage, and babies is the real revolution. I'm going to be bringing that broadcast. Perhaps it will incite you to divorce your Latino and find yourself a Negro woman to love and have babies with. Well, go. That's right, New York's queen. Go get with your Latino, because that's not what we own over here. We're all about the Negro. We're all about the Black American Negro freedman descendant of the emancipated over here. That is who this channel is for. I think you fumbled into the wrong building, okay? Okay? We need to be like the Sandman on the Apollo stage. You need that little cane to walk you right on off the platform. This ain't that platform. We are only here for Negroes, no one else. We give zero damns about everybody else. Okay? So please, this may not be for you. If you can't handle a TR roof, this channel is not for you. That's right, Yair. Deport with your Hispaniola wife, okay? Pinky says, we know Jackson Man 80, and it's okay if you're zesty. We're not living with you. I needed this laugh. Oh, Jackson, you really smoking something rough if you think that. I'm not even going. No, I can speak the King's English. I'm degreed, Jackson Man 80. Okay, I'm degreed within finance. I love Ebonics. Because these are my people. I speak like I'm from around the way. They understand I was speaking pig Latin, not Ebonics, when I was changing things around, because ScrewTube loves to shadow ban and strike my broadcast when I mention certain people by their names. They don't like me over here no how. So I'm not trying to have the broadcast struck after putting all this work into it. That's not Ebonics. That's called pig Latin. Okay. I can't fool with y'all. Y'all get him. He might be black, just upset with black women because of the rejection he's received all his life. Might explain why he's zesty. Oh my God, y'all are tickling me. If it wasn't for bossy women, your zesty ass would still be a slave. Get a Pinky. Oh, I needed that laugh. I'm a Gen X. I haven't voted since first term. Obama. Orange Man almost got me off the couch. I'll be up next time. That's right, Bruce. We got to defeat them. We got to go, we got to play them one against the other, honey. Jackson Man 80, we don't give a damn about your Latino wife. Now cut it out. I'm moving right past. Oh, you talking Kevin Samuels. Oh my God. Yeah, you need to get out of here. You see, look at this. She's Dominican. My daughters are beautiful. You see, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. When these niggering Negroes go out here and marry outside the race, and they look in the face of a Latina, they can't fight righteously for the Negro woman. Look at him. He's looking down in the face of Dominican daughters. This is what I mean by all these niggering Negroes going out here, marrying outside the culture. How can they fight with you when they believe that Dominican is more beautiful than a Negro woman? When they follow idiots to the grave like a Kevin Samuels. Zesty. Pinky called it straight. I can't wait to bring that broadcast to y'all about Negro love, marriage, and babies being the real revolution. Because these type of ninjas don't give a damn if the black woman and child are annihilated out here. This is where their allegiance is. To these women of other cultures that don't give a real damn about you. But go head on. As a matter of fact, it is time for us to part ways, Jackson Man 80. You go ahead and love on your Latina wife and daughters. Get the hell off my feed. I'm really done with you now. It was cute for a minute, but you sitting up here caping for the wrong people. So you've got to go. Bye. Ban user and delete their comments. I'll be damned if you come over to the reparations perspective talking up any other woman than the Negro woman. You can think it all you want, but you put it in this chat, you will be banned and your comments will be erased. That shit just pissed me off. Hi, Mario. Good to see you, fam. I think I'm done here, y'all. Oh, thank you, Root Trackers, for the Zell, baby. I really appreciate you, love. Thank you for being a patron of tonight's broadcast. I sure appreciate you, love. You took that last fool out before they came back in under another account. Oh, which one, sweetie? Because I can take his ass out again. Tell me what account did he come back in under? Yeah. I'm going to wait for that comment to come through. If you see the other account he came in, let me know, and I'll ban that one too. I ain't got time for this bullshiggity. Jackson was under another name prior. Angela, calm down. Don't let zesty males get you upset. Pinky, I know I need to calm down and not allow it, but it's very, very upsetting. We're in a serious gender war, and I am sick of, not sick because I don't want to claim sick. I'm just over niggerant Negroes selling out the race and trying to lift up all these other nationality of women as if they're superior to the Negro woman, and there's nothing on the planet more superior than the Negro woman. And I just lost my ish. A lot of these black men are pathetic, and I'm a black man saying this. Once the black woman Friedman wakes up, it's a wrap for the Demonrat party. Thank you for that, Benton. I appreciate all of your comments. I appreciate the exchange. I've held you guys for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I just laugh at them. They feel inferior to the woman in their ethnic group. I know, Pinky, I wish I could laugh. But it's no laughing matter to me. It is just unconscionable when I see Negro men denigrating Negro women and children. It grates. And you got a lot of them, even in higher, with money, with power, that are choosing this and pretty much are participating and contributing to the destruction of our lineage. Yes, Nuyas Queen, it is very triggering. Sister Angela, I agree with you. I know who my black women are. Thank you. I know who my black women are. They are my grandmother, my mother, my sister, my daughter, my niece, and those in my community. I love them all. Thank you, Omowale the Elder, 6420. I appreciate all of you so very, very much. And I thank you for joining me on this live. I thank you for patronizing the broadcast. Thank you, Yaira. Just thank you all for understanding who I am, allowing me to be who I am, allowing me to love Negro the way I love Negro as Negro, and always believing for the best for us. Because I see the God in each and every one of your faces. I hear the God in each and every one of your text exchange in the chat. As my co-host, you all are truly the wind beneath my wings. And I can't thank you enough for understanding when I need my mental health breaks from this work and returning when I'm back in the saddle. As if we never part company. We pick up right where we left off. And I've not been privileged to meet most of you personally, but I feel you as my brothers and as my sisters in this fight for Negroes. And I'm just eternally grateful that you love us the way I love us. Mm. Let me do my declare and decree. I declare and decree that the highest form of righteous judgment is served over all corrupt beings of the government, judicial system, including the police officers, CPS Child Protective Services, judges, attorneys, FBI agents, the CIA, and all personnel working for the U.S. corporation with 3 Ks with wicked intentions. All hidden corruption and agendas are now destroyed forevermore, in spirit and in flesh, in sleep and in awakened states, across all timelines, realms, and dimensions, known and unknown. For our prayer protection, oh, I forgot to say the moral of the story, fighting with that idiot. The moral of the story, family, is that we are all we've got. There are so many whites who are also immigrants who are very envious of our beauty. They're very envious of our brilliance. And they always seek to undermine us, to talk shit about us, and they are our enemies. And we've got to get to the place where we are totally self-interested. It is time for those of us whose third eye, which is the first eye that is open, we're the ones that are charged with saving the lineage. We have to do the things the cowardly Negroes who choose to congregate outside of the lineage, who seek to destroy the line. We have to be the ones to go out there and do the work that they refuse to do. You have to understand that a vote for the Demonrat is a vote for your own ethnocide. And you must go out here and teach those that are open at the top by sharing these videos to show them what the Demonrats have been doing with our votes. It's unconscionable what I've shared with you yesterday and today and what's coming tomorrow and so on and so forth. And this is the Demonrats whom we have been loyal to. I stopped in 2016 once Obama was a no to our repair. And I started learning politics through a Negro lens. It is up to us to go out here like the ancestors who fought back and weaponize our knowledge and weaponize our vote to defeat our common enemy, the Demonrats. In this moment, Trump has become the lesser of two evils. And we must get out here and do what we've got to do come the midterms to guarantee he keeps control and keeps a trifecta. We cannot allow the Demonrats to have any grace, to get any type of leverage. Understand it is the end of the line if we do. That's the moral of the story. That's the moral of the broadcast. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever Negro freedmen and our allies are, God truly is, because family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Never forget it. The ancestors are with us. Stay tuned for the outro. I love y'all. Negro Freedmen strong. Yes, I do. Until we meet again tomorrow, I'm believing for each and one of us a ton of peace, love, reparations, delineation, and deportations. Good night.